So before we even get into the Facebook ads platform at all, I want to run through the customer journey. So this is the process your customer goes through to buy and consume your product or service. Every brand, every customer goes through this with every brand or every product that they purchase. Sometimes they go through it faster. Sometimes they go through it slower. It depends on the purchase value, whether they've had exposure to the brand or the product before, or another like brand or like product. It comes down to a lot of things. But for most businesses within the tourism industry, it's going to follow a similar pattern to this. There's a stage 1 being brand awareness. Stage 2 being consideration, where they're aware of the brand and they start considering their options, their brand or product. Stage 3 being conversions. So that's the purchasing process, the purchasing decision and the process. Stage 4 being the experience, the product or experience itself. And stage 5 being that post-experience sharing or loyalty. And then after that is when we head back to the start and close that sort of that loop. And these people that have been these people who've been through the experience are hopefully sharing and become loyal customers who talk about your brand and expose your brand or product to the next set of customers in brand awareness. So that's a very high end, I guess, overarching view of the customer journey. You could break that down into more steps, but just to simplify it here today, and this is going to make more sense a little bit later when I'm showing you how this correlates to Facebook ads. We're just going to keep it simple by having those 5 steps. So the next question we need to ask ourselves is, what platform is your customer using at each stage? How can you reach them there? And also then it's your job as a business marketer or a business manager to then influence them to move to the next stage of that process. Because after all, we want to take them from brand awareness right through to sharing and loyalty, which is post-experience and post-purchasing the product. So if we have a look here on brand awareness, we can see that radio, print, TV, social media, and word of mouth are just some common platforms or ways that people hear about or are exposed to your product or service. So you'll see they're quite high level and expansive platforms. Once we start getting down into consideration, for example, that's where they start using your website itself, your blog, other review sites like TripAdvisor and Google start taking in a bit more information to be able to make a considered decision to purchase your product. Bearing in mind, these are the platforms where people are at each stage. So during consideration, they're on online ads, they're searching in Google search, they're probably getting a little bit of email marketing, whether that's from you or another third party, social media, your website and blog, as discussed, and reviews. At conversions, they're most certainly on your website or on another booking platform perhaps. They're using online ads to get there. They're pay-per-click still, e.g. using Google search. They're using those third-party booking platforms, and they're also on your web store. For the experience, they're interacting with your product, your packaging, your website, your vehicles perhaps, your team, and possibly other partners that help you deliver your product or service. Finally, sharing and loyalty. Often it's just word of mouth, so it's conversations around the dinner table, or social media and blogs. So that's a really fast way. I'm not going to dive into this too much. So this isn't a training about understanding the customer's journey and the opportunities at each stage. Why I wanted to do that is to show you where Facebook ads sit within each of these stages. And Facebook literally maps directly to them. So the 3 stages that we're going to be concerned about today and the ads that we're going to set up are around brand awareness, consideration, and conversion. So it's stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. What you're seeing here is a little grab from Facebook itself, and you can see how Facebook actually names their ads awareness, consideration, and conversion. It's no accident that is done, and that maps to those stages of a typical customer journey. It's done that way to make it easy for you to select the right ad type for the campaign objective. So today, we're going to create ads around stage 1 and stage 2. I told a little bit of a lie before around stage 3. We're keeping it really simple and just doing stage 1 and stage 2, which is awareness and consideration, and we're going to stick to these ad types. So it's really important to understand how a Facebook ads platform is set up. As we just showed you here, you can see here it's awareness, consideration, and conversion, which maps to our stages. They're campaigns. So I can show you here, we've got brand awareness and consideration, which were the two campaigns that I was talking about, or stages of the customer journey I was talking about that we're actually going to target today. But you can think of Facebook ads, or any of your ads really, in these 3 layers. You've got the campaign layer here, which is what you want to achieve. And it's your objective or what you want to achieve. You've got your ad set here, so who is your audience? So you're choosing your campaign, you're choosing your audience, and then you're choosing what you're going to have to say to each of those audiences. So depending on the campaign, you may say different things to exactly the same audience. You may have somebody that isn't aware of your brand that you need to speak to in one way. And you're going to have other people that are already aware of your brand, have considered purchasing, have possibly even been to places like your website or put something in the shopping cart. What you're going to say to them is completely different to the person that knows nothing about your brand. So they think of your ads in these layers: the campaign, the ad set, which is your audience. It's just a set of ads, literally. And then the ads themselves. We're going to break this down a little bit further and show you how to choose your ad sets, which is your audiences, now that we know what our campaigns are. We've chosen these 2 campaigns. So let's jump in and have a quick look at how to choose your audiences.